What is going on, everybody? So I am back today to talk about another Shudder original film. And this film I did not know anything about. I just went in to watch it, and I really enjoyed myself watching this movie, and it is called Blood Relatives. Blood Relatives is directed by Noah Segan and starring Noah Segan, a nomadic recluse living on the fringes of society, reconsiders his bloodthirsty legacy when a teenage girl shows up claiming to be his daughter. So, this movie is an incredibly simplistic premise. You have our lead character, Francis, played by Noah Segan, and we see him early in the film. He's driving at nighttime. He gets to this, auto parts shop. There's a guy in the auto parts shop working. It's 5 minutes till he closes. He's listening to some crazy conservative propaganda radio. He knocks on the window and is like, hey, you got 5 minutes till you're closed. I need these parts for my car. And the guy won't open the door, so he goes around back when the guy's leaving and ends up saying, hey, won't you just let me in? And the guy says something horrible to him, and he ends up killing him and going in and stealing it anyway and driving off. Well, the entire time through the beginning of the film, you see Jane, played by Victoria Morales, who is looking over his shoulder and constantly watching what's happening as he's traveling throughout the country. And so he ends up getting to this hotel room. She introduces herself to him and tells him that she is his daughter and that he was on a trip a while ago, ended up sleeping with this woman, and she was born, and that she is half human, half vampire. So she can go out in the sunlight. She can pretty much act as a normal human, but she still has a thirst for blood and for she eats raw meat and things like that, but her fangs don't come out normally, and she says that she's never drank blood from a human being. Those two start to form this relationship, and the film continues on from there. So this is a really sweet little comedy about these two people who just so happen to be vampires. There's some really interesting elements introduced of the lead vampire because he survived the Holocaust. There's a story told about his time being living out through World War II. And so I thought that was a really fascinating element to his character. It's not explored super thoroughly, but I thought that was really unique. And obviously the chemistry between these two characters is really great. I really enjoyed that a lot. I think these two actors give really great performances. The unfortunate part about this film, and the reason why I don't feel like it works perfectly, is the first half is really polished and cleaned up, and it flows really nicely. The character development's really great. The second half of the film feels like an idea that would be for a Netflix TV show, all of these little plot arcs in the last 25 to 30 minutes that only get about 3 to 4 minutes to be explored. And so the whole end of the film just wraps up relatively quickly because you get some little thing introduced and then it's closed, and then a little thing introduced and it's closed. And it's there's just not enough time to flesh out these tiny plot arcs to really kind of make the movie resonate compared to the first part of the film, where the plot is very simplistic, but the characters are so well acted that you're staying invested. And I think that this concept would have worked incredibly as a Netflix miniseries or a one-season TV show. It could have been fleshed out into even more. I think the characters are great. I think that the playful nature of looking at vampires through this very specific lens was done really well. I enjoyed that a lot. But I think that the sloppy execution of the second half and making it just really quickly wrap up, I was just kind of well, that disappointed me because it had so much potential to be so much more. And whether that be extend the runtime by a half hour or, like I said, this would be really well suited as a television show because of how great the characters are. It's really playful and funny. It gets darkly comedic at a couple of moments, which I really appreciated. And I don't regret watching this movie. I think it's a lot of fun. I think the character dynamic is really great. I just think that it could have been tidied up, especially towards the tail end of the film, to really make it executed well. I like the simplistic effects of the fangs. The cinematography was pretty nice. There's a couple of moments that look like they're day for night shot that are a little cheaper, which I understand on a lower budget, you gotta do what you gotta do, but there's a scene where Jane meets up with these kids outside, and there's that day for night filter on where it's you can tell it's sunny out because of how the shadows are reflecting, but the way that it's shot, it's their profiles are all really dark, and that's an issue I have with a lot of films. I feel day for night is always really hard to execute. The only time I've seen it done pretty well was Jordan Peele's Nope recently, and obviously he has probably 5 times the budget that this movie has. So I understand you trying to do what you can, especially shooting at night is really hard because you have to get a lot of light in there. But aside from that, I thought it was still an enjoyable film. I think if you're looking for something a little bit more lighthearted and fun that'll make you laugh, that does have some dramatic moments, then this movie is for you. So have you seen Blood Relatives? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was really entertaining. I think it has some problems. It's not perfect, but it's still a really enjoyable experience. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.